In Lakesh, boys, girls, and everyone in between. My name is Swami Satyanand. I'm a reader of Dreamspell, the new age version of the Mayan calendar. And this is Mayan Queens, a podcast where I point out the things about season 17 of RuPaul's Drag Race that is not seen to the eye. And now, this is episode 5, RDR Live. So what we're going to talk about. Mostly I will demonstrate the feature of Dreamspell that helps to give description to different groups, and based on that I will give certain comments on what opportunities has been missed and what has been good in the group work for all of the queens. And also at the end I'm gonna talk a little bit about Mirage, the mentioned queen of the episode, because it was an interesting coincidence. So we will start as they performed in the order, and the first team is Team Politics. So finally, Corey King has exposed their birth date, and now I'm able to give comments on what kind of queen she is, or they are, but this is a material for another episodes because this is gaggy. This is a big gaggy thing, and I think when I was guessing that she will go far, maybe I was lucky. So, first of all, we add all the potentials together. So in this description, first I will give comments on the team without Lana, and then after the appearance of Lana. So what would be the dynamics? So the whole setup is very much about the confidence, the control. This is what it should be giving, because actually we're in court. So this is a court session, and when Michelle holds a court, there is a moment of discipline, there is a moment of control over the situation, that everything is very organized. And I didn't really see it there, and it would work better because both of the stages, they're all very much about the confidence, the attitude that they have. So at first we get into the power of the wind, the power of the Arlequin. So it's a little bit about like fooling around, everyone's showing who they are, and then establish certain boundaries. The first lesson of the group of 3, Anya, Corey, and Ariety, their task was to establish like the dynamics, who goes first, who goes after the other one. There's a control in the church, there's a certain reglement, there's certain action that goes in the court that is very much controlled. So if it would actually work better if they will be like a little bit more rigid, and then we'll pop back and forth, but it's all very much, the first part is actually very much about the clownery, making a fool of everything, and making fool of the Karens, of the pastime. So it's actually a very lucky team set for all of them, because they were very much guided by the divine all together, and brought together by destiny. So it is actually a missed opportunity, and it goes in first. It goes before Lana comes. There is a certain settings, and then after Lana comes and kind of switches up the situation. So the main task, they actually in the beginning they had a really simple task of establishing a proper communication, of establishing the proper understanding, because it feels like this whole group has been kind of disorganized. There wasn't really a contact between all of them. Everybody were kind of doing their own thing. Anya was being Anya, and Ariety was kind of just disconnecting with the reaction. We didn't really see the main message being delivered very clearly. Through the text, yes, but not through the acting. And this is actually what I was lacking. I needed to listen harder, to get what it's all about. Although the situation, it was so clearly obvious and so symbolic, so you can really live through that. And that really didn't happen. It turned out kind of flat and lame. And then when Lana comes, they switch to much more dangerous and aggressive, like a political energy of the eagle. First one was the World Bridger, which is the Hierophant, that is about just 100% about being able to express clearly what you're trying to say, active listening, and all of that dynamic, just a little bit of Meryl Streep, just a little bit of contact with your partner. I think there was a disconnection, and that's what kind of made it all fall apart, despite the characters chosen. And when Lana comes, it just flips to the eagle, to the teacher of the World Bridger. So it's like it remains actually on the same balance, but it just comes to where it's supposed to go, actually, and the political message. So I think it could have been more aggressive, because when we look at these court shows, there's all kind of crazy stuff going on there, and even though there was a Stone Age decorations over there, it's still kind of a court scene. So we had people fighting in cake, ripping each other apart, and that didn't happen. And actually, if they would just leaned into all of that situation and made some kind of a reaction about that, it could have gone somewhere. This whole group was about like just lay on the process, see how it goes, if it will get messy, if it will get into the conflict, it is what it is. This is what's going to happen. It is better to say that you're doing too much, that you didn't give enough. So it ended up being kind of bland, and it was a missed opportunity for me on many different levels. Then we get to the team fantasy. So why did I call this fantasy? Because it's based on the power of the Seal of the Night, which is the archetype of a genie. That is very much about making a proper request, knowing what you're creating. It is very much production, the delivery of a very clear picture and a very clear message. And I think the work that was happening on this team, it is very much not what we're doing, but who we are embodying. So it went actually the very right direction, because it was more subtle, it was more sit down, and talk. So there was character study, but Sam kind of decided to complicate things unnecessary for him, and this shows lack of humility from their side, which is the trouble of the year for them. You just you go with whatever you go to. I compare them to Alyssa a lot, but when Alyssa goes in, you know what you're getting. You're getting the variation of the Southern Belle that she is, and everybody love it. So you just put it there, and it was going into Sam's hands, but they decided to stand out, which is the other thing about the monkey totem that they have. This is about getting into the center of attention, trying to become the axis of this situation, and the group work is about both playing along and standing out at the same time with that. Also, I wasn't really thrilled about the comments that some were playing out. The dynamics was not so good. I think Jules made a pretty decent job. Not incredible, could have been something, something else, but she came up with something simple, simple and memorable. And this is about the alchemist, this is about the dragon. They know that you are required just a little spark, just a little moment, and you give it to them, and everything is kind of the background, and it happened and it worked. Same with Hermona. Hermona just exactly did her thing. She was placed into that situation. She ran with it, and she was amazing. She was really good. I totally agree with that. And although they're very much similar energies with Sam, for Sam, it was kind of timid because of the character. Coming back to the humility thing, with the humility, you just dive into whatever comes your way, and then you can open up. And we saw Sam narrowing down, and that's bad. Let's say that. But the look, I love it. That just crude face, if that would go from like the southern sweetness to this brutal, harsh face feature back and forth, it would have been lovely. It would have worked out, but that was just too complicating, too rigid of the situation. So next, we go to the flow team, and I think they totally delivered. The flow situation, it was very much about like, what kind of game do we play, what kind of rules do we agree, and Susie got in charge, and she actually did the right thing, because this group, the main lesson is like, everybody do what they're good at, use their skill set, and see how it goes. So it actually flowed quite naturally, even though Susie kind of stumbled a step on Lexi's toes in this situation, but she knew what she was saying, and it worked out for the best for all of them, because she knew the environment, she knew the sketches, she really stepped into this situation. And Crystal Envy, she came, she delivered, she just made everything work. So she was actually kind of the glue, because both of these girls, they're both Devis, they're both zeros. So the organization, the teamwork, that's what Crystal has brought into the situation. So the team is also great, and very, very honorable work. And it seemed effortless. It seemed easy. It seemed really organic. That means that they were in the flow. They had this air about them, and this is the air of the archetype of the make. There was really a show feeling. I was very much involved into the process, and I knew what was happening compared to the first group. When I was like, is this real? So then we had the tempo team, and we'll just start with the recommendations about what could have been done in this whole scenario. So the main thing about this group is very much about the tempo. So the original script dynamic is when we have the characters inspired by the Golden Girls, and of course we have Sophia and Blanche. And Blanche is very Southern Belle, very slow and sexy and tender. And Sophia is known to be harsh. She's small, she's cute, and she's aggressive. So that already, being in these characters, it creates a certain dynamic. One is flowy, and the other one just jumps in with something harsh, and then it goes back into this dynamic. So it's actually already built up a good tempo for them. But Lydia, she could have played it her own way, but she would also need to rely on the slow tempo of Blanche, because there was a Blanche in the room, so, and she is you have to get into the contrast and all of this and all of that. Why don't you come over and took me some time? So Blanche is very much, oh my, and that would create a niche for a different character to emerge, for Lydia. So the work was kind of cut out for her, and she could have created whatever, pretty much, whatever kind of the delivery. But having the Blanche in the room, it was inviting for creating some kind of a different character with totally opposite dynamics. But she decided to run a different direction. So coming back, remembering Mirage. Back in season 16, what did Mirage do? She ran with the wrong role. She decided to go for the host, and she failed. And so is Lydia. She didn't count her possibilities. She wasn't in her actual spot, and that didn't work well for her. This is the thing. This whole thing is about the deer totem that both Mirage and Lydia have. This is about the mistake made at the very start, at the very beginning. When they get into that, they go to the best of their abilities, and the result is the result, whatever they have, and it wasn't giving. There were supposed to be some kind of references, but these references weren't there because she didn't have it, and she did not invent anything by herself. We could have gotten some out of this world, completely different Sophia, with absolutely unexpected behavior that would create a certain paradox and will make you rethink the Sophia, because when somebody just doesn't know what he's doing, he might come up with something cool, but she didn't. She was kind of wobbling in the middle, trying to make the Sophia that she hasn't seen, and it didn't work for her, and that's a shame for me. Then, before we get to the final, I just want to pin that this little combo over there, the stuff that I've noticed, these two are actually connected by the very top of the Tzolk'in. This is the axis of the world that goes around them. I'm not saying that they're new Trixie, Mattel, and Katya. I'm not saying that. But maybe one day you will agree. Who knows? But they definitely belong together. They know each other's souls, and they might end up, finding a niche for themselves that would be really cool and influential. So I'm just putting a pin on that. I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but as I'm recording, and in the beginning of February, we'll see how it goes. Then we come to the gaggery. The gaggery of it all, this is my moment when I was sitting there just saying, I told you that Lydia, she will go pretty well, but will be kicked off from the season quite early, and then she stays because she lip synced. And in the lip sync, by the way, Lydia completely delivered the thing that she missed doing in the challenge, because she's not about the boogie woogie and all of that stuff, but she did it. And it was great, and she was totally in sync with the music. She was delivering, so she actually got a full redemption from this lip sync. So I was shocked by what has happened, just like the two of them, and my winner was about to get eliminated. So Variety getting in the bottom, she's not disappointing me. She proves me wrong in my perception of her potential, because she is super talented on the runway, and this is where her power of the prophet comes. She really expands the vision on what can be brought to the runway, still be not costumey, still be not fashion, but so drag. I'm amazed. This is incredible, absolutely. But I want to be blown away. My mind needs to be blown away also in her out of the box thinking and out of the box acting, and she's giving me very much in the box of a cute twink, the cute twink behavior, and this is what stops her for blowing everybody's mind. But maybe it's too early for her. Maybe she just needs to grow up. She was only 27, she is now 28. Well, we'll see. She's gonna shed for another 5 years. We'll see how it goes. So, coming to the teams, I think that this is all. Numbers 1 and 7, if you're watching the pit stop, it has been announced by Monet. Monet was saying 1 and 7, and then it happened to 1 and 7, so, she knows something about that. Then this is all. We don't have the elimination, so no prophecies for all the other girls, how they're gonna do after the season. Just a little wink wink to Righty, that she will also show us a lot of that. And of course, in the end, some honorable mentions by our dragon, by my favorite dragon, that I was telling that she would fail, and she keeps proving me wrong, so I applaud to that. She came prepared. She's great and wonderful, and delivering perfection, and each time, this is what she's supposed to be doing. Just applause. Then also Acacia is getting the boot of the season for me right away for this week, because this week is actually a Muppet that has been slaughtered back in the 80s in Soviet Russia and somehow made it to US on the runway of RuPaul's Drag Race. And this is amazing for me in many ways, and I think very remarkable indeed. Then Anya, she is just creating the archetypes that are going to be reproduced. She's planting these seeds as she's supposed to be doing. People will go after Anya and do the stuff that Anya did, because she is creating something that will multiply on Drag Race after her. So this is the creation of classics that we are watching, and this is why she came here to do. Super ready. Applause. This is a remarkable moment. Then I'm sorry, Sam. I think you're wonderful and cool, and you will probably be trailblazing the prides in some dangerous areas all over the world, bringing the equality of rights all over the hidden corners of US or something. But this is just like this is so thrown together. It's just like, I had a lot of junk. It's all pink. Let's make it work, And this is lazy. And it is giving Alyssa, because she does the same kind of stuff as well. So yeah, hi, saved for now. Also, as Alyssa does. I'm not ashamed with that. I said that. This is the new Alyssa. The old Alyssa is retired. She's not coming back anytime soon, and Alyssa is dead. All hail new Alyssa. Then, of course, Susie, congrats on your win. Now you have 2 targets on your back. Very tough love for her. First win, first target for everybody, and now the second win. Rue wants the girls to come for her at all times, also supporting the leadership qualities that she did in the rooms, because Rue knows, because Rue sees everything, And I totally agree. When I was saying at the video, you can go through the link, I was saying that Susie is just being thrown into the traffic in order to survive. And she is surviving, and she is thriving, and she is so great and wonderful. So applause. At this spot, when she has a whole year, to change and to evolve, go through all of this stuff just at the spot, you think you're ready, do it. This is incredible. I have gained so much respect for Susie, despite that she's very much my style, love her completely, but her abilities is just mind-blowing to me. So yeah, enough with the praising. That's pretty much all I want to say. So if you have a group of people that you would like to learn about your relationship, or in a couple or in a group, you can contact me directly on my website that has a calculator, and put in your birth date, read about you and your friends, and if you want to go further, hit me up. So thanks for the attention, and I'll see you next Thursday in Lakesh.